Well, we have heard for years about the dangers of too much fat and too much salt in our diets. But what about sugar? Well, emerging research suggests high levels of sugar can harm the brain in the same way other organs are affected by type 2 diabetes. Tonight, as the season begins, the Fifth Estate digs into the surprising science to reveal the secrets of sugar.
Here at Brown University in Rhode Island, they're doing studies they think should make a lot of humans nervous. This rat is perfectly healthy. Put him in a vat of water and he finds his way to safety every time.
5.2.
Now, look at this guy. What he's been eating is the equivalent of a North American diet, complete with all the fats and sugars we regularly consume. He doesn't know where to go. His brain has been damaged.
These rats were totally normal, and then they turned into demented animals. They don't remember their learning after even a day. And as the challenge gets harder and harder, they fail more and more, just like a human with Alzheimer's disease.
36.2.
In this lab, the belief now is that Alzheimer's is really diabetes of the brain, linked to insulin levels, which can be affected by too much sugar.
Diabetes of the brain. The voice you hear there, Gillian Finley's, and she is my guest in studio here. Thanks for coming in as your season begins. It's fascinating. It's frightening, though, to listen just even in that excerpt, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's sobering.
It really is. So this is a study, as I said. We've talked a lot about other, fat, sugar, fat and salt. Now we're looking at sugar. And what was it, Gillian, that said we need to investigate this further?
Interestingly enough, it wasn't the science. We started on this story because we got access to and started looking at some documents that showed how the sugar industry over the last number of decades has gone about, or what they have known essentially about the link between sugar and chronic disease, and the efforts they have gone to make sure that that link not be out there.
Really?
And
the
that
sugar industry, you make it sound like big tobacco.
Well, people are drawing that comparison, absolutely. They have done the same kinds of things that people accuse big tobacco of doing, interfering with science, belittling science, trying to do whatever they can to prevent regulation from coming in any way. I mean, I don't know if you know this, Heather, but unlike with salt and fat, there is in North America a daily recommended limit for both of those things. Any product you eat, if you look on the label, it gives you what percentage of that limit this product contains. If you look at sugar, there's nothing. Nobody has ever set that kind of a recommended limit for sugar. Now, why is that? I think it's a very interesting question.
And part of the investigation that is part of your report tonight. But so now that's changing a bit. Obviously, you're getting access to some of these things, and there's science is emerging and taking a look at sugar. And then what have you found that's of particular concern?
Well, I think what we just saw was a huge eye-opener. But in addition to that, we're talking about cancer. We're talking about the way sugar, fructose in particular, can fuel tumors. That comes from one of the preeminent cancer researchers in North America. We're talking about heart disease. We went and spent some time out at the University of California at Davis. What they're doing there is they're taking healthy kids, teenage, college students, feeding them excess amounts of fructose and look at the impact of that on their triglyceride levels, which is an indicator for heart disease. In 2 weeks, Heather, on healthy kids with healthy livers, they are able to replicate some of the problems with what they call fatty liver disease, and the triglycerides go up.
In 2 weeks?
In just 2 weeks.
This is sobering is definitely the word on this. And is it just, is it the common white refined sugar that we use? Is that the chief culprit?
That's a great question, because that's what people think. Oh, well, I don't have sugar in my coffee, so I'm okay. We're talking everything, whether it's white sugar in your coffee, whether it's brown sugar in your oatmeal, whether it's honey, whether it's maple syrup, all of that stuff. High fructose corn syrup, you've probably heard a lot about that. They use it a lot in processed foods. Chemically, it's all pretty much the same thing, and it reacts the same way in your body.
You just said two words that are very key, aren't they? Processed foods. We don't even know how much sugar is in the processed foods we eat.
That is a big part of our story tonight. We don't know. I mean, I bet you it will surprise you when I tell you that on average you eat 26 teaspoons of sugar a day.
Really? And I would say I try to limit it.
I bet you do. Most people do. But it is in
everywhere.
So many foods that we just don't know about. And the labeling, You can debate whether it's on purpose or not, but the labeling does not make that clear to consumers. And so it's, yeah, it was quite a revelation.
I will be glued to the television tonight, as I know many Canadians will. And listen, all the best with the season. Thanks you for coming in to tell about the special report and investigation that begins the Fifth Estate season tonight. The secrets of Sugar, Jillian's investigation. And as you can hear, it is sobering and it is going to be riveting. 9 p.m. on CBC television, 9:30 in Newfoundland.